Guys, a lot of y'all have been coming at me in the comments because I'm not finished with Hank's Squarebody just yet. Hey, chill out, because I got good news for you. I think this might be the very last video on this thing, because I think in this video we're actually gonna be able to finish this thing up and hopefully get it back to Hank. At least that's my game plan. I say that lightly. We've got the last piece of the puzzle sitting in here in the shop, so we're about to get to work right now, cutting on this thing, doing the rust repair, getting the body work done so we can get it moved into the paint booth and painted, and as soon as it's painted, get it set on this truck so we can call Hank and say, hey man, truck's done. So with that being said, I need to get to work right now because I've got a little bit of cutting to do, a little bit of welding. We're doing some body work, and then we'll be getting right on painting this thing. Not gonna take too long, take a little bit of time, but with that being said, we're gonna get to work right now and hopefully get this joker knocked out. We got a little bit of new damage, which we hadn't shown you guys, but if you remember this clip right here, apparently something caught the ground, something happened, and we ended up with some damage right there. But lucky for us, on the original bed, this piece was good. So I went and cut that off. I'm pretty much ready and figured out what I've got to cut out right there to be able to put this in there, get this good as new so I can move on to what's left. So first thing I need to do is cut out that little section right there because it's all bulged out and I can't get my other piece on there and fit it in. So I'm going to take the grinder real quick and cut it right about there, and then we'll cut out what we need right there so we can put it up there, mark it out, weld it in, and we'll body work that. We also got a little bit of rust right here in the back, and it's pretty much the same on that other side as well. But we've got these panels, so we'll cut out what we need there, repair that. So that's gonna be the first step, doing a lot of cutting, a lot of welding, and then it'll be moving right into body work. All right, guys, so I got this a little bit roughed in. You can tell I've got a little bit of a bad cut right there, but that's fine. Everything lines up pretty decent once I do like all of this, and obviously that's in the way now, but once I actually move it up like that, everything lines up good. The edge of the bed lines up good. Other than that little bit of a gap right there where I made a bad cut, but that's all right. That's easy fix. It's all gonna be filled, ground down, and then covered in body filler to make sure that the body works right. So now that we've got that actually rough fit, I'm gonna go ahead and break out the grinder, and we're gonna take all those clamps off and then grind those edges, make sure everything's good and clean and it's ready to be welded, and we'll break out the welder, put some spot welds on that, and then we'll be ready to move on to those other spots and working on those, so that way we can get everything welded out and ground down so that tomorrow when we get out here we can focus 100% on body work, get this thing ready for paint, and then that way we can be well on our way to getting this project wrapped up. So that being said, I'm gonna get to doing some welding real quick. We might take a break and cool off, I think. Yeah. Thanks. All right, guys, so next day, taking a little bit of a different approach. We're actually out here at midnight because it's way less hot outside than it is during the day.
We're a bunch of night owls around here.
Night owls. I feel more productive at night for some reason. But anyway, so we finally got the rust repair finished. This was probably, honestly, the best fitting panel I think I've ever cut out and welded back in.
I mean, you throw a little bit of body filler on it and then, you know, paint it.
Yeah.
It'll look like it never happened.
Overall, it's pretty straight. That front one, I'm not so thrilled about that, but it's definitely better than it was. At least it's not beat up. There is a solid piece of metal.
And there's not rust.
There's not rust. There's going to be a decent amount of body work to be done right there, but that's not really a problem. I did take a DA sander, run around, and kind of familiarize myself with the bed to figure out where the main issues are, because unfortunately this bed is going to be on par with everything else, and Hank doesn't want all the body work done. So we're just going to address what we see, and then we're going to prime it. We'll block it out, and maybe there'll be a couple other things that we address. But anyway, it's really not that bad. It's actually fairly straight.
Honestly, for how old this bed is and what it's been through.
I'm actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
So we're going to body work the sides. We have a new tailgate, so we're not going to have to do body work there. We're not going to worry about these tops so much. We might do just a little bit, but Hank has those diamond plate covers that's going to go on those. It's going to cover everything. So basically, we're going to take care of everything up to like that point right there, because like I said, it's going to be covered, so it's not going to matter, and Hank doesn't really care. So I was like, okay, if that's what you want, that's what we'll do. So anyway, it's midnight. I'm pretty ready to go inside and go to bed. It's been a long day, so we're going to go ahead and mix up some body filler, get it spread out on here in the places that we know there are issues. Give it a few minutes, we'll block it out. Do that a few times, and then hopefully we'll be hitting this thing with some primer so that tomorrow we can get started wet sanding everything and hopefully get it painted, because we're really shooting to get this done. So we're gonna mix up some body filler get to work on that. Little bit of a change of plans. So got the first coat of body filler on here and I blocked most of it out, but I realized that I'm out of 80 grit. So I'm actually doing this with 180, which has taken absolutely forever to sand down this much filler. So what I decided to do was I sanded down the worst of it, like basically where we did the patchwork and stuff like that, and we got it pretty close. So we went ahead and put the second coat of filler on there. So it's like 2:30 in the morning now. We're both pretty tired. So we're gonna get up in the morning, we'll go to O'Reilly's. They've got some 80 grit in the roll just like I need. So we'll get that 80 grit, get it back here to the shop, and that 80 grit, bro, is gonna cut that a whole lot faster and just make this whole process go faster. It's gonna push us back, I think, a day. So instead of actually finishing the bodywork tonight, we'll finish it in the morning, then we're gonna go ahead and move this thing in the paint booth, get it primed and all that stuff. Like, I know this is taking a little bit of time, but this needs to be right, you know what I mean? Where we did those patches, it looked rough if we didn't get it right.
Yeah, and then it'll look really bad. Like it'd be like it's already bad as it is, but it'd be super wavy.
Yeah. So we definitely want to make sure we get some rough sandpaper to sand that down all the way and try to get this bodywork as good as possible. Like I said, once it's primed, Hank doesn't want it blocked or guide coated and blocked to get the bodywork perfect. So we're gonna try to get it as close as we can possibly get it by feel, and then priming it and then blocking it out. It should be pretty close. I think we can get it pretty close, because the rest of the bed is just not that bad.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's actually tried doing body work on it before.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that this truck, this parts truck that Hank bought, or the donor truck that Hank bought, I think somebody had already started putting it together, because the inside of the cab was painted, some of the body work was done, there's body filler in this. So I'm thinking somebody had already started some work and then it just didn't get finished. So overall the bed's pretty straight aside from like some scratches, some little dings here and there. Like you can see I put some body filler there, just little bitty spots that I noticed, just, you know, kind of running over it with a DA. So anyway, we'll pick back up on this tomorrow when we go get some sandpaper. But right now, I think it's time to get some sleep, get some energy for tomorrow. We got a long couple days ahead. Alrighty guys, so we got the body work pretty much knocked out on this thing, and I know already that there's somebody gonna come at me in the comments, because it's already happened, about I should have done this, and I should have done that, and all that stuff. And I know the body work passes the field test, but the only way to do this the right way is to prime it, guide coat it, and block it, which we're gonna prime the whole thing, but Hank has made it very, very clear he does not want us to put in the time to get the body work perfect on this thing. He said he pretty much just wants to get it decent looking and one color, because they're just gonna beat the ever loving crap out of it.
Yeah, and it's not like our truck. If y'all watch anything on this, you know we have put some hours in that truck.
The amount of hours that I spent on a sanding block on that one, guide coating, blocking, guide coating, blocking, guide coating, blocking, I spent a lot of time, and Hank just does not want us to go that far with this thing. He said, just pretty much get it to where it'll look decent once it's painted, get it one color, throw it back together, and it'll just be a nice beater. Is pretty much what.
Yeah, I mean, this, like, we've already said this plenty of times. This stuff is going to like go through mud, woods, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
so
they're planning on, you know, riding through the woods, going mudding on it and stuff. So it's gonna get beat up, and so I guess that's part of the reason he didn't want us to put that kind of time into it. Because if I had the time to put in it, or he wanted me to put the time in it, I would. Man, we'd get this thing just absolutely perfect, just like we did ours.
If we made it like this, I wouldn't even want to put that on the road. That jugger would be in the garage.
Yeah, it'd be hid somewhere. So anyway, that's as good as it's gonna get, I guess. Like I said, I can feel it, you know, and it's pretty close. I don't think that it's gonna be anything to balk at all. I think it's pretty decent. And once it's painted, I think it's gonna look really, really good. So that's pretty much gonna be the next step, is to put a good, thick, wet coat of primer on this whole thing so that we can block it out to give us a nice, smooth surface to go ahead and start spraying some paint on. But it's raining a little bit right now, so we're not gonna move it out of the shop and into the paint booth until it quits. And I think you said you've got somewhere you got to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Dad for a bit. It's his birthday today, so.
Yep, so happy birthday, Donnie. Everybody, if you will, drop in the comments, happy birthday, Donnie. He watches all these videos, so he'll see the comments.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that'll probably catch him off guard, too. He won't be expecting
Oh, for sure.
So, but anyways, I guess that's what we're going to do. You're going to head over to his house. I'm going to take a break and go get a shower because I'm absolutely disgusting. And when you get back, we'll back our little tiny trailer in here, get the bed loaded up, get it moved over into the paint booth, and get this sucker hit with some primer. How the turntables.
Oh, so I'm on camera now.
The guy behind the camera.
The guy behind the camera in front of the camera now.
Oh, this is weird.
Hey, you can be my editor now.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is you're actually editing this video.
I am editing this video. I'm almost done with it. Well, the stuff we filmed anyway.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Hunter's back. So I think what we're going to do is pick up the bed, spin it around, and set it back on our little baby trailer that I can pick up and carry around the property. And then we'll back the truck in here, hook it to the trailer, and pull it over to the booth.
Before we do anything like that, we gotta get that thing started.
We do. It's dead because there's a little something weird about the shift linkage.
Yeah, so y'all changed it from the 4 to the actual column now.
Yep, it works, but it still tries to slip out of gear and go to reverse.
Which I have not even looked at, so I don't even know what it looks like.
I don't know what's going on with it, but I'll have to figure it out. So anyway, guess this is what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and get this bed ready to go, and then we'll start the truck and get it moved so we can get the bed moved.
Shoot, dude. That looks like professional paint of that.
It ain't so bad, actually. Like, now that it's primed and one color, the bodywork looks much better than I
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the black and the orange, like the bed, like inside the bed, I should say.
That right there is not a bad bodywork spot. I let Hunter play with the spray gun for the first time ever. He got a little heavy on the primer, but
Hey, you told me to fill in the holes, so I filled in that hole.
so yeah, he's got to learn. You got to learn somehow. You got to learn somehow. That's how I learned to start spraying. Was actually spraying primer.
It wasn't too bad. It was actually kind of fun.
It's actually pretty cool. So we'll get you on that a little more. You'll learn some more. But where I did all the body work, honestly, it really is not that bad. I was pretty concerned because there were some spots, you know, I could feel them, but I couldn't see them. And without guide coating and blocking this thing, I would never know. So anyway, where I did all of the work, actually, like I said, came out a lot better than I thought. Right here where we had all that patchwork going on, there's a couple little minor issues, but once it's blocked out, it'll be fine. You know, we'll block this stuff down and it'll kind of smooth out a little bit. And when we paint it, you may be able to see it, you may not. Who really knows? This right here, I kind of figured this was going to come out nice. I spent a lot of time blocking that, so that looks pretty decent.
It almost looks factory.
It almost looks factory, and we had that part cut out too. So
yeah.
Really and truly, I think the bodywork on this, because we did put in a little extra time, came out better than any of the other parts, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and it also helps that was a brand new patch piece too.
It was, yeah. That one fit great. That front one, because it was kind of tweaked a little bit and stuff.
Yeah,
the bed was bent. It was hard to get it to line up. So it's a little rough up there, and it's not as good as I would like for it to be. But again, Hank limited our time. He wants to hurry up with this thing. So we really don't have the time to get it just right. But I'm pretty content with how it's turning out. I think once I get out here tomorrow, because you'll be going to work, I'm going to get out here tomorrow and block it and get it ready to hopefully paint tomorrow. And if I paint it tomorrow, then we'll be ready to go back together with the truck next week. And honestly, I think everything's going to look pretty decent.
Yeah, and y'all are probably wondering, why did we paint with that stuff in here?
Thing. So you can see we did not move the existing parts out of here. We covered the hood just because I didn't want anything heavy on it. But these parts are getting resprayed along with the bed because the door filled up with bugs when we sprayed clear coat. They decided they would take over.
Bug.
Yeah.
Bug.
Everywhere. And then also, this is that fender that looked like somebody had taken a grinder wheel to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sand this down, and also between when I sprayed the front clip and when I sprayed the cab and the doors and stuff, we ended up mixing that pearl a little bit heavier, so it had some more pearl in it. So I needed to respray these front parts.
Yeah, which was definitely the move.
Definitely the move, because this has one mix and then this has another mix, and it's definitely
like this was the one that we did 3 caps full,
and
this was only
750
1.
mLs,
So yeah, you can't even tell that the purple isn't that.
No, so gonna sand these down, reshoot those, and once we get all this stuff painted, man, it's gonna be time to go together with that truck, and then Hank will be able to show it to his granddaughters, and we'll actually be able to find out their thoughts on it.
And then we can work on that bad boy.
Dude, that's what I'm waiting for. So I know this has been a little bit of a rush project. Thanks, Hank. Anyway, so it took a lot longer than we anticipated, but you know, our initial game plan, we ended up changing it, going another route, and so when we started going that other route, then we really had to change up a lot of things. But it's finally all coming together. Doesn't help the fact that we only get to work on it like 1.5 days a week for a full-time job.
And not only that, like I go to work tomorrow. I get off Saturday morning, and you work Saturday and Sunday, and then I go back to work Monday.
Yeah, so our days are limited, but we're making the best of it. We're trying to get as much done as possible. So anyway, that being said, we're going to let this primer sit tonight. We're going to go get some rest. We get out here in the morning tomorrow, and I will block all this stuff out. Hopefully, we'll be shooting some paint. See you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, so I got out here this morning, first thing, went ahead and blocked out the bed, blocked out the primer that we sprayed last night, and overall, I have to say, the bodywork is not bad. The bodywork's not bad. There's a couple little issues here and there, but honestly, it's nothing that's going to be like super noticeable or super major. I say that right now. Again, it's not painted or anything yet, but it actually really does look pretty good. So the next step is actually going to be go ahead and wet sand this thing and get it ready for actual paint. So what I'm going to do is wet sand the bed. I'll wet sand the door and the hood. Depending on how time is looking and stuff like that, I may get to the fenders today. If not, then I'll do those in a couple of days whenever I get home from work, because I go back in tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started wet sanding on this stuff with 600 so that here in the next few minutes I can go ahead and get started spraying some sealer, then some base, then some clear, and we'll be wrapping up the paint on these parts here very, very soon. So that being said, we're going to get to work on this stuff. So hopefully we'll be spraying paint here in about an hour. Alrighty, guys, so everything is finally wet sanded, including the fenders. I did go ahead and get both of those knocked out because honestly, this clear coat sanded out really easy with the 600. So it's all ready to be recoated. The fenders are hung up, and the one that I had to hang up is hung up. But the bed is sanded and ready to go. So because everything else is already painted, the only thing that I have to shoot sealer on is the bed. So that's going to be the next thing that I do, is go ahead and mix up some sealer and get it on there. And then while the sealer sits, because it has to sit for about an hour before I actually start spraying it with base coat, I'm going to go ahead and tape up the window and the door handle on that door that I have to respray. So that way I can kind of keep things going, and I'm not wasting any time like taping and then spraying sealer and then having to wait an hour. I can spray sealer, wait an hour while I tape off the door. So with that being said, I'm going to go mix up some sealer, and it's about time to get this bed in color. So let's go mix up some sealer. Alrighty, guys, so I got 2 good wet coats of sealer on the bed here, and y'all can tell that looks pretty decent. There's a couple little minor issues, like some little nicks and stuff in there, but overall, for the rapid, fast, rush bodywork, it's not terrible at all. So we'll come around to the other side here, and you can see where we did all that work. It actually doesn't look that bad. I think I can actually probably live with that. For it to have been rushed, I don't think that's too bad. It looks pretty decent, and actually, this is probably the best part of the whole truck, not gonna lie. I did go ahead and mask off the door that I'm gonna be respraying, so now we're pretty much just gonna wait 30, 45 minutes, something like that, to let the sealer sit and mix up some base coat, and we're fixing to make this baby blue. me tell you, it laid out absolutely awesome, and all of the panels look absolutely phenomenal. And I did go change shirts, because let me tell y'all, this Florida heat today and the last few days has been no joke. I think I've been through like 3 or 4 different shirts today, so it's been a rough one, but we are finally getting close to being finished for the day. We got the blue sprayed, so we're about to go in there, mix up the pearl. If you guys remember, we had mixed it a little bit different on that last time we sprayed on the cab and the door, so that was the reason we had to spray the fenders and the hood again. So that being said, we're about to go in there, we're gonna mix up this pearl. I think I did 2 coats. I think I did 2 good wet coats. So we'll be able to do those essentially back to back, especially with the heat like it is. And then we'll go ahead, we'll jump on clear coat, get that sprayed good and wet, and then we'll be done for the day. And this thing will officially be completely painted and ready to go together next week. So pretty excited about that. But with that being said, it's time to mix up some pearl and get sprayed. So we got the pearl sprayed and went ahead and sprayed that clear as well. So that means that these parts are absolutely completely finished, and they look absolutely amazing, honestly. As I was a little bit worried about it because of the rushed bodywork and all that stuff, but in all honesty, these parts came out really, really nice. I know Hank didn't really want me to respray the front end parts. He said he didn't really care. You know, they looked fine, whatever. I wasn't happy with it, so I went ahead, wet sanded those down because I was going to have paint mixed anyway. Resprayed the fenders, the driver door, and the hood. And let me tell you, that was a great, great call because we ended up with a much better finish. It's nice and smooth. There's no trash in it or anything like that. So everything looks absolutely phenomenal. And I think once he actually sees these, he's going to be glad that we actually went ahead and redid those. I think the girls are going to love the finish. I think they're going to like the way that it looks. And I think this is going to be something they're absolutely proud of. So again, I mean, I was a little concerned, but I'm glad to see it. So that means that in a couple of days after I get back from work, when these cure and all that stuff, it's going to be time to start putting this truck back together. And I think this thing is going to look phenomenal. So anyway, that being said, it's been a long day. It's been really, really hot. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go inside and get a shower, get some rest. And then I'll see you guys back here in a couple of days when we start putting this joker together. All right. It's time to reassemble the truck.
Yes, door first.
Door first, because it's easier to get to with fenders off. So, real quick, before we get doing that, I'm already disgusted because we've already started on this thing. I'm not going to lie, we couldn't help ourselves. We set one fender on the truck, which we'll show you in just a second. But we did find there was a lineup issue.
We did run into a roadblock.
We did. We figured it out, though.
We did.
We're awesome.
It took us a few minutes, not long, probably like 10 minutes, honestly, to figure out what happened.
Yeah, so real quick, let me just show you. These are what came on the other truck, and
the one that this cab originally came on.
Yes, the donor truck. So we found that, and what we found was that the mounts, the rear mounts for this cab are different on this frame than they were on the other one. And so it had a little bit taller bushings here. So we took those, we had those on here originally because we just didn't think about it. And so it had the back of the cab picked way up, which made the bottom of the fender not line up, made a huge gap. There was nothing we could do about it. We could not figure out why. But now, everything lines up.
Oh, we also did switch the front and the back to see if that was a problem, and it lifted the cab up.
Yeah, we did do that because we were like, maybe we put the wrong ones in the wrong place.
Yeah.
The front was supposed to be taller because, in theory, that would have closed up the bottom gap.
Yeah.
So,
but
anyway, but now
we have it all situated.
We do, and would you? There's a little adjustment.
Let me just step back here.
Yeah, just check it out. I mean, let me get out the way so you can look at it.
Dude, it looks so much better on camera.
Yeah, it does. And so the gap at the top right there obviously is wrong, but the front of the fender has to be picked up. We just got a couple bolts in there.
Yeah, we got one bolt in the front, hand tight, and one on the top of the fender that's hand
so
tight.
we got to pick up the front of the fender and then bolt it down. And when we do that, it'll line up the back right there with the door. We'll be good to go.
Yep. So we ain't going to worry about this. We're actually going to do the door first and then
that other door on
do both fenders.
Yep. And so then we'll have all that together, be ready to put the hood on, along with that beautiful hood ornament that we had.
Oh, yeah.
That we gave Hank. So, it's going to start looking like a truck, bro, here in just a minute.
Yep.
Turned out looking as good as this one did.
Yeah.
No dents, no nothing. Hank, your whole truck could look like this.
That's a pretty solid door.
Pretty solid door. So, got it mounted up, got it. I mean, honestly, the gaps are pretty dang good.
Yeah, it just needs some weather stripping, that way it doesn't wiggle.
Yeah. So it's got there's no weather strip on it, so it's got a little bit of movement. Not much.
Actually, that one's tight. That one is kind of loose.
The other one's got a lot of movement in it, but that could be something to do with the latching mechanism or whatever. So,
yeah.
But once Hank gets the weather stripping on there, it'll be a lot better.
Oh, brother, there's 2 fenders on there.
Dude, that was one more pain right there.
Dude, we have been at this for what, 3.5 hours?
It's been several hours, and I know we didn't get to film it. We had an issue. Phone was dead for one, but for two, we needed like all 4 hands to be able to get this situated because there is something going on in this core support. For one, there's some rust and some rot in it. For two, I think the front bushings are absolutely shot. So the core support's sitting out a little bit further than it should, so it didn't want to line up with those fenders. So we actually had to move everything around. We fought it for a long time, and the gaps, far from perfect, but they're sort of even, and the doors don't hit. So I'm just gonna let it ride. We'll put the hood on it tomorrow, and that way, everything is together. And then if Hank and the girls and their family decide to, they can replace those bushings up front, and then everything should line up better. But I've gone as far as I can go.
Yeah, we actually had to undo this bushing and jack up the core support itself to be able to get this fender to bolt up right.
Yeah, this one, what's crazy is this one fit great. It's that side that's giving us a problem. So that's what makes me kind of wonder. And I mean, I got over there and looked, and that bushing is in bad shape. But, maybe that's the cause of it. I'm really, really, truly not sure. But who really knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an old truck. I mean, it's got old parts.
Yeah. It's been pieced together for sure. So, we can only do what we can do with it. But honestly, really and truly, for what it is, man, even with these parts put on here and everything not being perfect, it's looking...
I mean, it looks really good.
Dude,
for what we have done,
yeah,
it looks really dang good.
Yeah, I mean, for it to kind of be a budget build and something that's kind of rushed and, not wanting to take the time to put in it, it's not bad. I got to say that I'm pretty content with it. This side, the paint, the body work and everything that we did looks absolutely amazing. I know it's dirty. It's got sweaty dirt all over it.
Yeah, we've been sweating.
Yeah,
sweating bad.
It's hot. But you can see right here, like this gap is not great, but that front, that core support is pulling this down a little bit. So it's causing this to kind of push forward, but it does open, doesn't hit or anything like that. So that's one thing that Hank and the girls are just going to have to address later on is that front bushing. And it's really not that hard. It's like one bolt, jack it up, put the bushing in there, you're good to go. But it will have to be addressed at some point if they want these gaps to be any better than they are, because I can't do anything else with it. So anyway, game plan for tomorrow is put the hood on. We finally got the fenders on. That was because it took so long, it was such a pain. That was definitely the goal for tonight. So now we got the fenders on. Tomorrow morning we can throw the hood on. That's going to be super easy because this stuff has never moved. So it'll bolt right to the hood and it'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's only 2 bolts there, 2 bolts on the springs, and then 2 on to the fenders.
You're good to go. And then this front clip will be wrapped up, minus putting the headlights back in. I'm not sure what Hank and the girls have in mind for all of this up here. I'm going to put back everything that I have, but I don't have everything for it. So we'll put the headlights back in, get those hooked up, and then I think Hank is going to come over tomorrow afternoon to throw the bed on, and then that'll be pretty much wrapping this thing up, and we'll basically be done.
Yeah, Hank, you can take this back to the house.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready to work on my truck.
That one.
So anyway, guys, I'm tired. It's hot. So we're going to call it for tonight. We're going to go ahead and go get showers, get some rest, and we will be back out here tomorrow morning. truck all the way together, pretty much. Inner fenders, front clip, hood, complete with the hood ornament.
It's got the hood ornament, which you're welcome, Hank. We gave that to you.
We had to give you something special. So anyway, looking pretty good all the way together. Bro.
And right here you can kind of see the pearl.
Yeah, almost a little bit. I can't wait to see it in the sun. So that's what we're fixing to do now. We're fixing to crank this joker up. We got Hank over here with the big old tractor. He gonna run it. So we're fixing to set the bed on this joker. It's gonna look like a full truck for the first time in a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna crank it up. We'll get it outside and see how it really looks. Brayden looks like he's 6 years old driving.
Yeah. Come this way.
Hey, check our dually fender.
Yeah, you're good. Just go straight. Dang, looking like a brand new truck. You know, it kind of sounds a little bit better. I mean, there's still like a little issue with it, but there it is. Found it.
It's definitely something.
Oh yeah.
Good thing their daddy's a mechanic.
He probably knows more than I do. Dang, son.
Yeah, you can really see it in the front of that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like right where the sun's in it. That's where you really do see it. If you look at it at different angles, like towards the sun, like from the backside, it has a green tint to it.
Hey, just imagine if we had been able to do body work on the passenger door.
That looks really good.
That took a sharp.
The girls did good on that color, didn't they?
You do it right here.
With that purple pearl too, dude. That's
Yeah, you do it back here. It looks like a silverish, greenish, like pearl in it.
Yeah.
It's almost like the FRS.
almost like chameleon, yeah. But yeah, dude, the color was great. All minus that passenger door.
Oh yeah.
If only.
Alright, listen. That's what you get for, I mean, I know you used to be the head painter at the Mako there, but come on.
Hey, we got the bed on. There's a problem.
Just a little problem, that's all.
What do we do now?
Yeah, so if y'all remember, we had an issue with the bushings on the cab last night.
Yes.
Now, we have an issue with the bed. What you think there, Mr. Hank?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a body lift. That's just all there is to it for the cab.
Yeah, I can get you a 2-inch body lift. I think it'll be alright.
So let's compare our body bushings. This is what came with this cab on the other frame, and then the ones we put on it are about half this.
Yeah,
Because
actually,
they were
I don't
on
even know if it's that. It's literally just one of those.
Yeah, we put the ones that came on this truck back on here, and well, now you can see we've got a bit of an issue.
There's a big issue. Hey, title on thumbnail. We ruined Hank's truck.
We ruined Hank's truck. So it definitely is a bushing issue, but you guys remember we had an issue with the fender lining up with the core support. So that goes to show you right there, we had these on there, so maybe the cab was where it was supposed to be, and the core support wasn't. So maybe the core support needed to be raised up or whatever, because I guess if you do a body lift on these, you have to lift the core support too, right?
Yeah, it's literally, because I had it on my black truck, it's every bushing that's on the frame.
Yeah, so that's going to be the issue. It's going to be a body bushing thing. So, Hank, what do we do now?
Well, we fix it. It's something for the girls to do, you know?
Yeah, I reckon so.
I mean,
it's painted.
I mean, it looks good. Here, let's just do this right here. Let me put my finger over the gap.
Yeah.
It still looks, you can still notice it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Dude, though, like if the bed sat down, honestly, with the way the tires fit on the fender well and stuff, with it sitting like this, that's perfect, bro. Like the fit is awesome.
I mean, it looks good.
It looks good, minus the obvious, you know? Do what?
Minus the parts that don't look
Minus the parts.
Yeah,
that don't
I mean,
look good.
you look at it right here, minus the body line.
It looks good. It looks good if you squint. And then look at it. You know?
Here, like, here, let me do this. Let me cover.
Can you edit it where you squint?
Oh, yeah, just here. Let me do this right here. Just like that.
In all honesty, if that bed lined up, that jugger would look pretty dang good.
Yeah.
We could notch the bed rail things that sit on the frame if we really, really want.
That's a lot of work.
It might not be a good idea, actually.
No, it's got to have the support.
Yes, and there's like, there's a lot to do, but it looks like a truck.
We've got our hands dirty enough. It's y'all's turn.
Yeah, you like it? You can really see the.
Look at that.
That's it. So much better, dude.
A lot of gaps in all.
Look, I tell Brandon all the time I'm a genius.
You are a genius.
Like,
man.
but he won't believe me.
You are a genius. That fixed it. That fixed the problem.
So what'd y'all do? We didn't get that on camera, I don't think.
We put the rear body bushings in there.
Oh.
Tall ones.
The tall ones.
Who came up with that idea, Brandon?
Oh, you wonder. What do you think? You good?
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah.
It looked better than the last time you saw it.
You
That's
can really see the when we had it out in the sun. You could really see the
Yeah,
purple
I was about to
in
say
it.
it's like dark. I know, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I know, I'm super around.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Gigi.
Excited.
We obviously there's some more work to do, right? But it is a truck now. It is a truck.
I'm so excited. Alright.
Yeah, that's we ordered that one off of Summit Racing, I think it was.
Yeah, I like that. What? Steering wheel? I didn't know if there was steering wheel in it or not.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Does this thing like drive?
Yeah.
Can I just drive it home?
No, we got it.
I'm sitting on a bucket. We don't need a front windshield.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that's just natural AC.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, exactly. We don't have AC, so that's just gonna have to do for now.
Yeah. You like it?
Yay.
Cool. What do you think, Z?
I like it.
Good. Okay, so
We need to talk about it real quick. I think they like it. They left.
I guess they're just leaving.
They're just leaving.
We don't even have the bed bolted down yet. What are they doing?
We said, you have done enough. We'll leave it.
You can barely hear it. Just like, it's still got an issue.
Yeah, it definitely still has a run issue. I don't know if it's timing, I don't know if it's adjustment of the carburetor or what, but
We'll figure something out.
yeah.
I can't see him. The Dodge is in the way. I broke it, Dodge.
It's a broken dog.
Bye, Hank. Goodbye. Goodbye, kids.
Everybody.
Goodbye, kids. And Miss Hank's wife.
So we got the truck all back together, man. I know this took forever, but man, just look at this thing. It's
Dude.
it's all back together. pretty much.
I mean, if I stand back right here and look at it, it almost was worth it.
It looks pretty.
It does look pretty good. That blue is gorgeous.
Yeah, man. There are a few things that it's not perfect at all by any means, but looking at it honestly, for a truck that's nearly 60 years old now, 40 years old, something like that.
And it's going to get beat up for another 60 years.
You're gonna get beat up. So it's got a little bit of a run issue. We got to figure out. The girls took it down the hill. They were driving it, super excited, and it shut off on them. And it acted like the carburetor was loading up or something. Just didn't want to run.
Yeah, it was backfiring a lot through that carburetor. So
I still think there's a timing issue. So we're gonna end up probably pulling this distributor eventually and checking that out and just trying to help them out. There's a few other things that need to be done as well, like wiring up the tail lights. There's some headlight bezels to put on there, swapping out the windshield wiper motor, and a couple other things. I've got to spray the tailgate. I'm going to do that off camera.
so tailgate, we need to take the railings off, put the diamond plate on the
diamond
side.
plate on. So there's a few things, but as far as our part goes, we're pretty much done.
Now,
bro.
this is what we could say is the last video on the
The
sucker.
last video on this joker. So the twins were super excited about it. They love the color. They said the truck looked great. They're content with the body work because I guess they know they're going to beat the crap out of it too.
It's for the farm, is
It's
what it
for the
is.
farm. It's going to be a farm truck, so it's going to get beat up, and they're really excited about it. But the fact that they were super happy about it says a lot. And so as long as they're happy, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man.
But guys, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed this square body build, check out this playlist right there. That's our personal square body. And if you like this one, I know you're going to like that one. Hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with what we're doing. And we'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.